Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Samir, and let me tell you, I've got some stories for you today. We're diving into some of the most mind-boggling crimes you've probably never heard of. I mean, we're talking seriously weird, seriously wild stuff. Like, did you know Australia once declared war on a bird? Make sure to stick around till the end because some of these will absolutely blow your mind. Alright, so picture this. 1932 Australia, it's the Great Depression and times are tough. Farmers are working tirelessly to grow crops and sustain their livelihoods. You've got farmers, they've got crops, and then, BAM! Out of nowhere, a new enemy appears. Thousands of emus show up like they own the place. These aren't just any birds, these are emus, large, flightless, and incredibly fast. And I'm not talking about a couple of birds chilling in a field. No, this is a full-scale invasion. I'm talking a full-on emu army, 20,000 strong, just wrecking everything in their path. They trample crops, destroy fences, and create chaos wherever they go. The farmers are freaking out, right? Their hard work is being undone by these relentless birds, so they call the government like, yo, we got a situation here, these emus are out of control. The emus are running wild, causing more damage than anyone could have imagined. And the government's response? Declare war. Yes, you heard that right. They literally declared war on emus. No joke. They mobilized the military, thinking they could easily handle a bunch of birds. They got the army involved, machine guns and all. Soldiers were armed and ready, confident they could take down these feathered foes. They thought, we'll show these birds who's boss. But the emus had other plans. Guess what? The emus were winning. They were too quick, too smart, too emu-y. They dodged bullets, outran soldiers, and outsmarted every military strategy. The soldiers were missing shots left and right, the emus were scattered everywhere, it was chaos. The emus seemed to have an uncanny ability to evade capture and continue their rampage. The soldiers were missing shots left and right, the emus were scattered everywhere, it was chaos. The emus seemed to have an uncanny ability to evade capture and continue their rampage. After a while, the Australian government was like, all right, we surrender, you win, emus. They called off the war, defeated by a bunch of birds. Can you believe that? They called off the war, defeated by a bunch of birds. Can you believe that? The Great Emu War, as it came to be known, ended in a victory for the emus. It remains one of the most bizarre and fascinating episodes in Australian history. Okay, this next one is seriously creepy. Imagine you're just walking down the street minding your own business, when suddenly, you see something that makes you stop in your tracks. It's 1518, Strasbourg, France, a bustling city with its medieval charm, cobblestone streets and vibrant markets. Everything's normal, people are going about their day, when suddenly out of nowhere this woman starts dancing in the street. At first, it seems like a harmless, spontaneous act of joy. But then, it becomes clear that this isn't just a little jig. She's dancing with an intensity that's almost frightening. And she doesn't stop. Not for hours, not for days. People are staring, they're confused. But she just keeps going. The crowd grows larger, whispers turn into murmurs, and everyone is wondering the same thing. Why won't she stop? And then, get this, other people start joining in. It's like a contagious frenzy. One by one, more and more people are caught up in this bizarre dance. Within a week, there are like 400 people dancing uncontrollably in the streets of Strasbourg. The city is in chaos, and the authorities are at a loss. Doctors are baffled, nobody knows what's going on. They try everything from bloodletting to exorcisms, but nothing works. The dancers just keep moving, day and night. Some people speculate it was mass hysteria, a psychological phenomenon where a group of people experience the same symptoms. Others think it might have been some kind of food poisoning, possibly from ergot, a toxic mold that grows on damp rye. This goes on for weeks, people are collapsing from exhaustion, some even died from heart attacks or strokes. The relentless dancing takes a toll on their bodies and the city is gripped by fear. Can you imagine? Dancing so hard you die? It's almost unimaginable, yet it happened. The streets that were once filled with laughter and music are now scenes of tragedy. Eventually the dancing died down, but the mystery of what caused it remains to this day. Was it a curse, a disease, or something even more sinister? Spooky, right? The dancing plague of 1518 remains one of history's most eerie and unexplained events. Now, this is a classic crime story, one that has fascinated people for decades. August 8, 1963, a gang of 15 men pull off one of the most audacious heists in history. This wasn't just any gang, these were seasoned criminals, each with a specific role to play. They targeted a Royal Mail train traveling from Glasgow to London, A train that was known to carry large sums of money. These guys were organized, they had a plan, and they executed it flawlessly. Months of meticulous planning went into this heist, with every detail accounted for. They tampered with the signals, forcing the train to stop at a remote location. This was a critical part of their plan, ensuring they had the time they needed to carry out the heist. They overpowered the crew, and then they unloaded 120 bags of mailbags filled with cash. The crew was left helpless, unable to stop the gang from making off with the loot. We're talking 2.6 million pounds. In today's money, that would be equivalent to over 50 million pounds. That's like a crazy amount of money even today. Imagine the sheer volume of cash they had to move. The craziest part, they almost got away with it. They celebrated their success thinking they had pulled off the perfect crime. They hid out in a farmhouse, living it up like rock stars, but they got sloppy and left fingerprints everywhere. Their overconfidence was their downfall. The police eventually caught up with them, and most of the gang was arrested. The investigation was intense, with law enforcement working tirelessly to track down the culprits. The Great Train Robbery became a legend, inspiring books, movies, and even a song by Elton John. This heist has left an indelible mark on popular culture, a testament to its audacity and the skill of those who pulled it off. Alright, get ready for this one, because it's still unsolved. March 18, 1990, two dudes dressed as police officers walk into the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston. They tell the guards they're responding to a disturbance, and being the good guys they are, the guards let them in. Big mistake. These guys weren't cops, they were art thieves, and they were about to pull off the biggest art heist in history. They tied up the guards, and then they just went to town. They stole paintings by Rembrandt, Vermeer, Degas, Manet, you name it. 13 pieces of art worth an estimated $500 million. And then poof, they vanished. The FBI has been on the case for over 30 years, but the art has never been recovered. Who were these guys? Where'd they take the paintings? It's a mystery that continues to baffle everyone. Crazy, right? D.B. Cooper, The Vanishing Act. This one's like straight out of a movie. In 1971, a man calling himself Dan Cooper, later misidentified as D.B. Cooper, hijacks a Boeing 727. He's got a bomb, he's demanding $200,000 in ransom, and he wants parachutes. The FBI scrambles, they get him the money, they get him the parachutes, and then, in a daring mid-air escape, Cooper jumps out of the plane and disappears into the night. Gone. Vanished. The FBI searched high and low, but they never found a trace of him. Did he survive the jump? Did he spend the money? Nobody knows. D.B. Cooper became a legend, a folk hero, a symbol of sticking it to the man. To this day, people are still searching for clues, hoping to solve the mystery of D.B. Cooper. The Tylenol murders, a poisoned pill. This one's seriously messed up. In 1982, 7 people in the Chicago area died after taking Tylenol capsules that had been laced with cyanide. Can you imagine? Taking what you think is a harmless painkiller and ending up dead? It was terrifying. People were panicking, nobody knew what to do. The company, Johnson & Johnson, immediately recalled all Tylenol products, which cost them millions of dollars. The FBI launched a massive investigation, but the perpetrator was never caught. The Tylenol murders changed the way we think about product safety. It led to tamper-resistant packaging, and it made everyone much more aware of the potential dangers lurking in everyday products. The Great Molasses Flood Sticky Situation. Okay, this last one is more of a bizarre accident than a crime, but trust me, it's wild. January 15th, 1919, Boston, Massachusetts. It was a warm day for January, and a giant tank filled with 2.3 million gallons of molasses, yes, molasses, exploded. The wave of molasses, 25 feet high and traveling at 35 miles per hour, ripped through the streets of Boston like a tsunami of sticky goo. Buildings were damaged, people were swept away, horses were drowning in molasses. It was chaos. The air was thick with the smell of molasses, and the streets were covered in a thick, sticky mess. It took weeks to clean up the Great Molasses Flood, and the smell lingered for months. 21 people died, 150 were injured, and the city of Boston learned a valuable lesson that day: never trust a giant tank of molasses. Subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments which crime you found the most mind-boggling. Was it the Emu War, the Dancing Plague, or maybe the Great Molasses Flood. Personally, I think they're all insane. See you in the next video.